Subramanya Bharathi, also known as Bharatiyar. He was born on 11th December 1882 and he passed away on 11th September 1921. Was a Tamil writer, poet, journalist, as well as Indian independence activist, a social reformer and a polyglot. Popularly known as Mahakavi Bharati, great poet Bharati. He was a pioneer of modern Tamil poetry and is considered one of the greatest Tamil literary figures of all time. His numerous works included fiery songs kindling patriotism during the Indian independence movement. Born in Ettayapuram of Tirunelveli district, presently it is known as Thuthukudi, in 1882. Bharati had his early education in Tirunelveli and Varanasi and worked as a journalist with many newspapers including The Hindu, Bala Bharata, Vijaya Chakravartini, the Swadesha Mitran and India. In 1908, an arrest warrant was issued against Bharati by the government of British India for his revolutionary writings, forcing him to flee to Pondicherry. Now it is the Union Territory where he lived until 1918. Bharati's influence on Tamil literature is phenomenal. Although it is said that he was proficient in around 14 languages, his favorite language was Tamil. He was prolific in his output. He covered political, social, and spiritual themes. The songs and poems composed by Bharati are very often used in Tamil cinema and have become staples in the literary and musical repertoire of Tamil artists throughout the world. He paved the way for modern blank verse. He wrote many books and poems on how Tamil is beautiful in nature. Dear students, we have to take a famous poem, Wind. It is written by the famous Tamil poet Subramanya Bharathi. It is translated by A.K. Ramanujan. Here let us go to the introduction to the poem. We all know that wind is a natural phenomenon. Wind is always a natural phenomenon. But in this poem, the poet talks to the wind. The power of wind has been described, and the poet says that wind is destructive. He has linked the destructive power of wind to the adversities of life and says that the weak people break down, but stronger people emerge out of adversities stronger. The poem gives us an important message that we should be mentally tough and physically strong in order to survive the hardships of life. A weak person breaks down like a weak building and crumbles. We must make these destructive forces our friends with our strength and determination. Poem goes like this. Wind, come softly. Don't break the shutters of the windows. Don't scatter the papers. Don't throw down the books on the shelf. There, look what you did. You threw them all down. You tore the papers of the books. You brought rain again. You are very clever at poking fun at weaklings. Here, we have to understand the meaning of poking fun. Poking fun means making fun of something. Weaklings means a person who is very weak. The poet talking to the wind, he asks the wind to come softly. So he is saying that the wind should not be very strong, loud. It should be soft and subtle. When he says that the wind is very powerful, it is destructive. It breaks the shutters of windows and scatters the papers. When the wind is very powerful, all the books which are kept on the shelf fall down. So here the poet is describing the power of the wind. Then he says to the wind to look at the destruction that it had done. whenever there is a strong wind, all things that are very weak, like small plants, tiny children, etc., they all get scared and they can even fall and get hurt. We can say that in the initial part of the poem, the poet is referring to wind as a young child. He is saying that it should come softly just like a small child does. In the later part, we come to know that the wind is destructive just like a youth, just like a young boy or a young girl who is full of energy, violence, and destruction. Here, look at the next line. It is frail, crumbling houses, crumbling doors, crumbling rafters, crumbling wood, crumbling bodies, crumbling lives, crumbling hearts. Here, the poet repeatedly using crumbling, that is a falling or cause something to break. Rafter means sloping beam which support the roof of the building. That is the sloping beam. Here the word crumbling is repeated so many times to lay stress that everything crumbles in the face of a strong wind. So the writer is saying that when wind is very powerful, it is very strong. It leads to breakage of everything. Houses which are weak fall, doors which are weak fall, the beams on which the roof of the buildings are supported, they also fall. All the wooden structures fall, all bodies of people fall, animals, lives, hearts. So he is saying that everything crumbles. Everything that is weak reacts by falling down and breaking in the face of adversity. So the poet is saying that whenever a weak person faces any adversity or challenge in life, he breaks down and falls. Then the wind god, here the poet stresses the wind god winnows and crushes them all. Here the word winnows means to break a grain free of chaff, separate grain from husk by blowing on it. Here the poet is addressing to wind as wind god, and he is saying that the powerful god of wind winnows. That means he sifts all the people, and those people who are weak fall down and get crushed. So here a comparison is made between wheat and people. Just like we winnow the wheat to separate the grain from chaff, the wind god separates the strong people from the weak people. When there is a strong wind, all the things that are weak fall and get crushed. Then look at the next line. It is, he won't do what you tell him. So come, let us build strong homes. Let us join the doors firmly. Practice to firm the body. Make the heart steadfast. Do this, and the wind will be friends with us. Here, steadfast means very firm. Here also, the poet wants us to make friends with the wind. That is, the adversities in our lives. He says that the problems will not listen to us. They will come. So we should be prepared. In preparation, we should build strong homes and close the doors of our house firmly so that the wind cannot get into. And then he says that we should also make our bodies strong and hearts firm to face these challenges. And then once we are very strong enough, all the challenges will be like friends. We'll not feel that they are troublesome. Then look at the next line. It is, the wind blows out weak fires. He makes strong fires roar and flourish. His friendship is good. We praise him every day. Flourish means grow. The poet has kept the wind on a pedestal. He is comparing the wind to God. He says that wind is God and we praise wind every day. He adds that everything that is weak gets finished off in the face of the strong wind. And all the things that are very strong flourish and grow to become stronger. He is giving us a very important message that we should not feel bad that we are facing so many challenges and adversities in life. We should make ourselves physically and mentally strong to face these challenges. And once we are very strong enough, we will overcome the challenges. We will become friends with them, and then we will be happy that we had these challenges in our life because they help us become stronger and better. Here, when we observe the literary devices in the poem, it's the rhyme scheme is listen about the rhyme scheme. The entire poem is written in free verse. There is no rhyme scheme in the poem. The literary devices used as follows. That is anaphora. What is anaphora? Anaphora is when a word is repeated at the start of two or more consecutive lines. It is a device of anaphora. So lines 2, 3, 4 begin with a don't, and lines 6, 7, 8 begin with the you. So here is the second one. The second literary device in this poem is personification. What is personification? So wind is personified. It is comparing as a person. Wind has been personified here. When the poet says you are, he is referring to wind as you. That means he is treating wind as a person. Then the next point is repetition. Crumbling is repeated many times to lay emphasis. The poet wants to say that the wind crushes everything that is weak. That is why he repeats the word crumbling. Then next point is about alliteration. What is alliteration? Alliteration is the repetition of a consonant sound in close connection. Wind, winnows, want, etc. Then what is symbolism? Symbolism is also included in this poem. Symbolism means that the thing refers to some other thing. Wind is a symbol. It refers to challenges in life. He is using wind as a symbol for the adversities in our life. Hope you understood about this poem, my dear students. So we will get the short summary. The first part of the poem describes the action of the wind. The poet asks the wind to come softly. He requests the wind not to break the shutters of the windows, not to scatter the papers and throw down the books from the shelf. But the wind throws the books and tears the pages. The poet says that the wind makes a mockery of weaklings. It brings down frail houses, crumbling doors, rafters, and even weak hearts. It crushes everything that is weak. The poet advises us to be strong. Only then can we save ourselves from the wind. We should build strong homes with firm doors. Our bodies and hearts should also be strong. It is a way of the world to kick the weak and be friends with the strong. The wind blows out the weak fires, but makes the strong fires roar and flourish. Thus, the poem conveys the idea that nobody cares for the weak. Even the wind is on the side of the strong people. We must make ourselves strong to become successful and overcome the challenges in life.